Next up is our knee cars. So the knee cars is separate from the kneecap. The knee cars, guys, is an active joint. So this is where we're going to get a little bit more force production and rotational capacity in an active sense. So with the knee, guys, believe it or not, there is rotation at the knee. Right? There's the amount of knee pain and knee injuries that I work with people that have it is tremendous. And a lot of times it's not the knee's fault. The knee is stuck between a rock and a hard place, and it tends to take a lot of the gets beaten up essentially because of some limitations that happen at the hip and around the ankle, the feet. The knee's right in the middle, and it takes the force. So what we can do to make sure that the knee is, because there's not always going to be a chance to do everything perfect and things aren't always going to go according to plan, what we can do is we can prepare the knee to be as resilient and as mobile as possible, just like we try to do with all the other joints. But this joint is meant to be very stable. So we're going to try and create that stability by recognizing its motion and strengthening it. All right? So what we're going to do is, again, taking a seat, we're going to use one leg at a time here. I want you to put your heel down on the ground, lift your foot up, okay? And what we're going to do is you're going to grab your two fingers on the opposite hand and you're going to slide it up your shin bone, up your tibia, which is the name of that bone, until you find the big bump at the very top. Okay? It's a prominent marking at the top. Once you find that spot, what we're going to do is we're going to provide rotation, thinking about it's going to be happening at the tibia. Tibia rotate, internal and external rotation. However, we're going to be thinking about moving at our heel. So the heel is the axis point. It's where our heel is down on the floor. And by moving our heel out and in, you're going to feel the tibia head internally and externally rotate. Okay? So make sure to sit up nice and tall. Just because we're seated doesn't mean we're not radiating. I like to also grab onto my thigh here, help me sit up nice and tall. What I'm going to do is I'm going to internally rotate by bringing my heel in. I can feel the bump come in. And then I'll go heel out, and I'll feel the external rotation of the tibia going out. And very similar to what we've been doing with the shoulder and the hip, we're just going to get a few reps of pure rotation. All right? What we shouldn't feel is anything at our hip. Right? We're moving on from the hip, and we're moving at the knee, so I should be feeling maybe some tension or some burning in the front of my shin. I also, just because my foot's moving, doesn't mean that it's working. Right? What's working is the front of the shin, okay? And once you do a few reps and you get even just a brief idea of, okay, this is what internal external rotation looks and feels like, that's just to work on rotation. Now we're going to actually do the global hip car, or the knee car. So what you're going to do, guys, is with the same arm as that leg, you're going to sweep it under, and then you're going to clasp your hands together however you'd like. Hands together, you can cross the fingers, whatever position is going to be most comfortable for you. And you're going to lean back until your heel comes off the ground, and we want to make sure our chest is proud. So what's important for this one, guys, is that we're not rounding our low back and being dumped in this position, okay? We want to sit up nice and tall in a position where our pelvis is in a neutral position, which means our spine's in a neutral position, which means this isn't a compensated position. We're starting from kind of ground zero, okay? If you're having a hard time keeping your lower back, your hips from rolling under you, you have two options. You can continue to lean back, see if that helps, or you can straighten your leg out slightly and hold on to your thigh here, where it's more out in front of you, less stress on the spine and the hips because there's less hip flexion, okay? So let's go into the knee car, guys. So in that first position, right, we're trying to just break it down for right now. What we're going to do is we're going to now practice a couple more rotation reps without the heel on the ground. Can I get external, internal rotation? From here, guys, we're going to start to extend and flex the leg, okay, the knee. So, maintaining a good irradiated position, we're going to internally rotate the knee, and then as we internally rotate, we're going to extend the leg up as high as we can, and what we should feel is a stretch in our hamstring. At the top, we're going to externally rotate, pull it back down, all the way back down. Now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to externally rotate as we go up, until I feel that hamstring stretch, internal rotation, hold it all the way back down. That'd be considered one rep, okay? So we're going internal rotation up into knee in extension, and then external down, external up, internal down. So we get to hit both sides. So what you should feel is, with the work and practice, guys, you should be feeling some stuff working on the front side. You should be feeling the hamstring when you extend the hip. And remember, you want to avoid closing a pain. And sometimes this position, there's a lot of variations, guys. This is just a beginner level one, but there are other ways to do it. So if you are feeling things in the hip here, just know that the further your leg gets away from your chest, the less chance of that happening. The less chance that happens. Okay? So that covers the knee car, guys. Hope you enjoyed that one.